Hey everybody, this is the Hurdy Burke Internet Broadcast Network, and we are broadcasting from the State of the Art Studios right here in Round Rock, Texas. And there are nights, Susan, where it just doesn't go well, and I hope it's not one of those nights for you.
Well,
Texas.
well,
I just invented a new state.
we're gonna
Well,
go.
anyhow, the State of the Art Studios in Round Rock, capital T, Texas.
Love it. I'm right here with
And
you.
it's Hardy Burke. I'm with Susan Beal from Kairos,
Mm.
Bubble Sports, and you're going to love this show tonight. I promise. We're going to have some fun times talking. But before we get to Susan, for you guys listening in for the first time, or if you just happen to go, you know what, I'm going to just listen to the archive show, which is the after show, right, where we keep it, and you come back and listen to it on your mobile in your car instead of some bad talk radio station in the morning that's no good. No, I'm kidding. But anyhow, a lot of folks listen to this show on demand. We understand that. But for Susan, she's a business owner here in Austin, Texas, and because of my mainline sponsor, who sponsors this Tuesday night show for the next year, we're able to bring on small businesses at no charge to them and give them a cool custom player when the show's over. Not only will it be on YouTube, but they're going to get a color match to their website. I want to thank CPR Cell Phone Repair for sponsoring our show, and they are great. They're located at La Frontera. They are near the Hooters and Jimmy John's, but they can fix just about anything: iPads, iPhones, cell phones, smartphones, iPhones, computers, you name it. Especially if you have cracked screens, drop the phone, which seems to be the most common thing. Water damage, they
Done
have
it.
to look at it. But here's the thing: if you're not sure, just drop over and see them. They're at La Frontera. Is CPR Cell Phone Repair. You can find them on the web at cellphonerepair.com, and you can type in your zip code, and it'll give you directions right to where you need to go. But go take your phone to them, have them look at it, and generally, if it's something pretty simple, they can have you done within a couple hours. If it's something real bad and they have to dig into it a long ways and get the part, it may take a couple of days. But they're awesome. High ratings on Yelp, high ratings on Google Plus. So thank you, CPR Cell Phone Repair, for being a sponsor. Cellphonerepair.com. Thanks, guys. Okay, we're Susan Beal with Kairos Bubble Sports.
Yes.
God, I love that. I couldn't, before I wrote this today, Susan, I was going, what do I call these? Because that's not going to sound good. So the Bubble Sports things helped me a lot because I kept trying to describe to my coach, they're these big, round, giant clear balls. They wear them on a soccer field. What? And never mind. I'll just listen to the show, okay? so so anyhow, I'm going to minimize this because I know we've got a bunch of questions for you tonight, right? And I want to make sure that we pull those up. I I honestly glad you send questions because this is one subject I have no idea
Hmm.
what to talk about. Okay, so let me find that.
And Herdy, you are not alone. And that's actually half the fun. Is that this is such a new sport and such a new
And it looks
industry,
fun.
and it is hilariously fun. It's fun to play and it's fun to watch.
So let's talk to lighten you up a little bit
Hmm.
before we kind of get into the big deal here. I want to open this back up too. So let's talk a little bit about you. Are you from Texas originally, or are you from where are you from?
So I was born in Dayton, Ohio.
All right, cool state.
Woohoo!
Woohoo.
Lived there until I was 12,
Okay.
and then moved to Katy, Texas, outside of Houston.
Yep.
Was
Know exactly where it's at.
was raised, went to high school there, graduated there, and then went to Baylor University.
Great school.
Woohoo, Baylor Bears! And after then, I got my degree in accounting and information systems. I wanted to go into theater. Daddy said no,
No.
won't pay for that.
No. Got to go to IT
Yeah,
school.
that's right. Got to
Business
got to do
school.
something practical,
Right.
right?
Right.
So
Boy,
went.
that's kind of out the window today, isn't it?
Right, right. So I went into accounting and information systems, got my CPA, and then kind of did the gambit and ended up in Austin, Texas about 15 years ago.
That's awesome. And you live up in Leander, which is in
Oh,
Winston County suburb, or is it
Pflugerville.
Pflugerville? I mean, right down
Hmm.
the street over here.
Right.
Quincy County. It's
Yeah.
huge. And you saw the big wreck coming in, so
Yeah.
Interstate 35 is closed down.
Yes, it is.
By the way, can I tell you something about Interstate 35? It's
Yes.
closed down even when there's not a wreck.
Yes.
Okay, and I can prove that. It took us 6 hours to get back from Dallas last weekend. It took from Waco to Temple, 2 hours. That's
Yes.
29 miles.
Yes.
I was ready to kill somebody.
Yes.
I'm serious. But no, you
Yeah.
just put. I watched a whole Netflix movie,
And see,
and that
there's the
29
upside.
hours.
And there you
and
go.
there's the upside.
That's right.
Until the cop pulled us over and said, "You can't have your cell phone tonight." So never mind. All right. All right. So anyhow, favorite color,
Blue.
blue, and last concert,
John Legend.
John Legend. And who is your favorite genre of music, or do you like a bunch of them? If you had one, pick one. Is it the old classic rock days, or do you migrate to something else now? Jazz.
You know what?
Listening.
Right now, for the last number of years, it's contemporary Christian. But
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
we listen to that a lot too.
yeah, but I still, old days, it would have been the whole genre,
Yeah.
except for hard rock. Never quite gone into hard rock.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So bread and some of those.
Yeah, those R&B.
Gloria. 5357. I bet I can get everybody.
ABBA.
I bet I can get everybody saying 357 867 5309.
5309.
Everybody's gonna be singing that tonight. I just made them a royalty right there. They're
right.
to pay me. Let me check.
There you go.
All right, so we're back with Susan from
Kairos.
Kairos Bubble Sports, and being dyslexic, there's just certain problems with certain words, and this could be an all-night thing. But you just laugh along because this is your show.
There you go.
Tell me a little bit about the background, how it really started.
Okay, so my husband and I, even before we got married, individually, we both actually were very much into events.
Business.
Well, on the side.
Okay.
So we just both had a heart for doing events. I actually did a Miss America pageant when I was a part of the JCs in Waco.
Really?
That was my event. That was my deal. But we've done, just either personally or weddings. Just we do a big fish fry ourselves every year.
That's cool.
When
is that?
It is June 13th
So
this year.
I'm
you
invited?
are absolutely invited.
Okay, cool.
And so we just do events. And so we always had this sense that we would actually one day have like a traditional event center.
Yeah.
And then last February, I never watched late night because I just worked horrible hours.
But you watched something and you saw something.
That's exactly
didn't
right.
you?
I did.
Those things I couldn't describe till I read it and went, okay, that's what we're
right.
calling. Good.
Jimmy Fallon said, last time ever, I'm going to do bubble soccer one more time. I was like, what is bubble soccer?
Right.
Right. So I watched him play bubble soccer in an elevator hallway with the elevators as his goals. And it was hilarious. I thought, this is fantastic. I want that at my fish fry. So I went online and nobody did it in Austin.
Really?
And nobody.
So it's a franchise?
No.
No?
It was just, it didn't exist.
You just buy?
And so.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I expanded my search and started doing research and realized there were just pockets in the U.S. of people who were just starting to branch out and bring bubble soccer to the U.S.
Bubble soccer. That sounds so funny.
It was. So that's
And wait till you hear how it works, folks.
Yeah, right?
It's fun.
And that was how and so then it was just really.
So how did you research to get to it to find out how you could even make a business out of it? Do you buy these products and you're just kind of on your own? There's no support. I mean, there's just somebody invented them and now you just buy them.
Well, exactly. So there were two men in Norway who just, I think, on a lark decided.
What were they drinking that night?
I think they absolutely were drinking that night. And they came up with this idea. They, somewhere in Denmark, got someone to create these inflatable bubbles that they then put on and started this fun game.
And the only thing sticking out the bottom is your feet, by the way.
That's right.
But from the thigh down so you can actually move your knees and run in it.
Right.
Yeah,
so I think some people have seen these hamster bubbles that you get into your entire body.
That's different.
That's
this
different.
is where you actually have control from your knees down so you can run and then bang into somebody and knock them over. We'll talk about
it's almost like bumper cars in a bubble. So, so then I decided, well, you know what? Even what I was seeing online was people creating these soccer leagues. And I thought, well, I don't want to be in a soccer league. I just want to rent those bubbles for a couple of hours at my event. And that's how we developed
And did people come in them?
Do they come in them?
Did they come to your event in them and wear them and banging each
Well,
other?
we
And
haven't had we
at
do
that point, you hadn't really.
our event hasn't happened yet.
Right. Oh, you're going to do it this
We're going to do
year.
it this year.
Oh, wow. There's going to
Right.
be some knockover people out there.
But we have had we started the business before our
See,
next event.
see, this would be an event I'd go to, and I would find people I didn't like, and I'd be in one.
And you could.
Kaboom! But
And
no, you'd hurt them.
No, you
Yeah,
wouldn't.
right.
Not in the bubble.
Not if they're in one too.
That's
You guys
right.
can go crazy. They
Exactly.
need those in Baltimore. Okay, but that's beside the point. I'm sorry. Okay, so all right. So you got started with it. I get. Are you formally a business now, like an LLC or something like that?
Right, we
Or
are.
okay,
So we
so
are
you're
an
a limited
LLC.
liability company. Okay,
Mhm.
that's cool. And so now, are these? Do you order these from somebody? Do these guys that invented them
Mhm.
sell them, and they're just a distributor, and you can buy as many as you want?
All right. So in the research, what we found out is that um, there is a company in Denmark that makes them.
Right.
I think, which was an outgrowth of these two guys. But really, what happened then was after they started doing bubble soccer and they got some YouTube visibility, then it started taking off like in Italy, and then it moved over into Asia and into China, where the inflatables market is huge.
I'm
Like,
surprised it didn't start in California. No, I'm kidding.
yeah,
Everything starts in
that's
California.
right,
That's nuts.
right,
I think it's funny on you call it crazy Norwegians.
right.
Our crack staff came up with that.
Well, and
No,
you know
you
what? But
did.
that no, actually, that was an article. So
That was the article. Crazy
yeah, there
Norwegians
was an
invent bubble
article.
ball after drinking. No, it doesn't say that. Okay,
Right,
but
but
go
there
ahead.
was an article over in Norway or in Europe that says crazy Norwegians invent bubble football.
Right, and
And
so that's crazy.
yeah, and so what happened was then over in Asia, because they already had the inflatable market
Sure.
foundation with bouncy houses and all other kinds of inflatables, then it was a natural they started manufacturing soccer bubbles.
God, that's just cool.
And so we did our research here, though, on
Right.
the types of plastic. And then we started researching the different Chinese manufacturers and found one that we thought was a good fit for us.
Okay, so they did those guys not patent it or something?
No, apparently not.
What? And so you could put air holes in it if you needed in heat, so you could improve it.
Yeah.
Those are crazy Norwegians
Yeah, they are crazy Norwegians.
and stupid. No, I'm kidding. We love those guys.
Or what you
I
know,
mean, why wouldn't you patent something? Maybe it's because the ball can't be patented. There's probably reasons.
Yeah.
They probably tried.
I'm sure they
and somebody
tried.
said, look, it's a ball.
Right.
It's just a big one that people can wear, and that's kind of out there somewhere. So
Right.
you can't copy. Okay, I get that. All right.
Right.
So, can you bring this stuff to me? How does this work? This is kind of one of the questions you want me to ask was how do you bring it to me?
Right. So we are mobile.
Okay.
We do not have a facility that you come to us and play bubble soccer. And that was on purpose because we didn't want to limit your ability to have fun. So if you want to have a birthday party in your backyard and your yard is big enough and you have enough grass, we'll bring the bubbles to you. If you have a gymnasium, it can be indoor or
If you have
outdoor.
a soccer field
you have a
sitting
soccer
around
field,
town, you're
right.
cooking out, and you want everybody to play those, they can bring
Yeah,
them
if
there.
you want to go to a public park and it's first come first serve, we'll bring the portable soccer fields and we've got a way to mark off a
Oh,
field.
that's awesome. They put the cones out and they
We
let
put
them
the
go
cones out
crazy.
and they go crazy.
Right.
So any public space that we can use is fair
That's
game,
cool.
and we'll set the field up and we'll bring it to you.
So you could even go to booths, like if you wanted to introduce this, right, and have a couple people standing behind it, hand out literature in the bubbles, showing them that.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
day camps, I see that you taking them to those in the summer, the YMCA,
Oh, yeah.
all those places. So let's talk about that a little bit. And this is probably off-beat question. The target market is really anybody that does events outdoors
Hmm.
that wants to
Right.
have fun
Hmm.
and use the crazy Norwegians bubbles, right?
Right. Now, or indoors because
Or-
it can be
or
played.
indoors,
It
too.
can be played in a gymnasium.
That's
it can be played
awesome.
in an
That's
auditorium.
right, because you can get knocked over and nothing happens.
Right.
You just
Well,
bounce.
we actually have partnered with the Austin Spurs. So
That's awesome.
they have a little kid zone, and it's just where they've pushed the bleachers back in an area back
Right, and
behind
they
the
can
goal,
bounce off each other.
and it's on concrete, but we play in the kid zone. And the kids loved it. They lined up, and unfortunately, when we had to shut it down in the third quarter, we had a line of kids that still wanted to
And
play.
they bounce, and that understand when they fall, they just bounce off the floor.
They bounce off the
They're
floor.
protected by it, so
Right.
it doesn't matter what surface it's
Right.
on.
Now, I mean, ideally, if they
Grass and
right,
all
it's
that
ideal
for
and
feet. I get
right.
it.
You want to have tennis shoes on.
I get it.
And could they bang their knees?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Do
it's
you have a
it's like
release form
anything.
or
Yes,
something you make people sign just like anything
just
today?
like
I
anything
had to
else.
sign a release form going into a store the other day.
A store.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
That's how it's gotten. You understand? I mean,
yeah.
when I was a
Right.
kid,
Yeah.
we played sports, right? And our
Yeah.
high school coach used to chase us off the field with 10 other players if we made a mistake. We didn't sign a
Right.
release form. It's a pan. What do you say? Wimp
Behind.
world we live in.
Right.
Everything's a release form. But I get
Right.
that. I get that from
Yeah.
liability standpoint. So
Right.
I try to make fun of that stuff.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I kind of see, and you've got it mentioned on here. I was kind of going to the next kind of question. Is I see a whole genre of leagues.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question. If you were doing league play and you were having competition between two teams, is there a way to tell the difference between the two teams? You wear like the same color jersey under the bubble ball so that you can distinguish the colors?
Yeah. So right now, what we've done is you can when we have these bubbles manufactured,
Right.
they are custom made. So they don't have these bubbles sitting already pre-made. So we tell them what sizes we want, what colors we
That's
want.
awesome.
And so what we've done now because we're doing rentals is we have three different size bubbles right now. And we'll get into that in just a
We
minute.
have kill you bubbles, medium
No.
kill you bubbles, and small kill you bubbles. I'm
Yeah,
having fun
yeah,
with
I
this because I
know,
just
I
see me
know.
knocking my friends around. I
Yeah.
wish I'd had these when I was
Right.
a kid.
And it levels the playing
But
field,
you have, are
but
there three basic sizes then?
right. So the only for our manufacturer, the only limitation our manufacturer put on us was the individual has to be at least 7 years old. So that's the only restriction. Anyone
Wow.
7 years old and up,
That's fun.
that's it.
That's good.
The next thing is that we want to make sure we get you in the right size bubble for safety purposes. So each size bubble accommodates a person up to a certain height, and we can accommodate people up to 7 feet
Oh,
tall.
that's great. So you're covering all the 5 foot, six
Right.
foot, and almost into the just barely 6'11" probably.
Right. So
4 foot for little kids. That's
right.
cool.
So like a 9-year old kid whose stature maybe is 4 feet
Hmm.
5 inches tall.
Right.
We have a bubble that accommodates individuals up to 4 feet 8 inches tall, right?
Right.
So the weight of that bubble is less than the bubble that accommodates a 7 foot person,
Oh yeah.
right?
So you want them to be just evened out a little bit, so it depends on their size and everything.
Right.
I get that.
So we don't do just one size bubble.
That's awesome.
So we accommodate different sizes. But like for league play, getting back to your question.
Yep.
So the way we've structured it right now is we have a different color bubble for the different size right now because we're doing community events and we're doing parties. And the way we do that is when somebody, sorry, Pumpkin.
That's all right. That's our mascot, Langston. This is
Yes.
Rusty, our Aussie. So that's good.
Pretty
Didn't mean to
dog,
drop
too.
that big old glass of
Yes.
water on you, buddy.
And so when we do the events, what we'll do is when a person signs a waiver,
Right.
we put a color wristband on them so they know what color bubble to get in.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
So
so
this is all
it's all coordinated.
really become really sophisticated. It's not like
Mhm.
you throw something on. There's a lot of safety goes with it. There's a lot of weight and age and height and all
Right.
that. So you guys have these three different sizes to accommodate all the way up to 7 foot,
Exactly.
over 7 years old.
Right.
That's awesome.
Now we are working on leagues, and when we actually incorporate the leagues, then we will incorporate making sure that someone has either the same color shirts, or we might do something around the ankle.
I know somebody I need to get in contact with, and I'm going to tell you with it offline.
Okay.
But Mel's Lone Star Lanes up in Georgetown, Rockies Market, they would probably love this somehow. So we'll talk. You just got me thinking of all sorts of things to do. So leagues can be soccer leagues. Is everything based around soccer, or is there other games you can do like?
Yes, we do other games too.
Like racing where you can bang into each other and first one down the line, you keep knocking each other over.
Oh, yeah.
It just becomes a game of who can get up and have the most energy to get there, right?
That's right.
You're just rolling around.
So we do. We have what we call, and this is kind of
That's
I
hilarious.
haven't seen this anywhere else yet. So we have what we call the Kairos bubble roll, where you have to just do somersault rolls from one end to the other. There is
Oh,
actually bowling.
how about the spin around where you spin for like 10, and then you try to walk in it,
No, we haven't
and then
done
you
that
have
yet.
to
You
go down and touch the pole for your other three friends.
absolutely
That
that would be
you
fun.
walk the
Yes,
stick around. That would
yes,
be great.
that
I
would
would
be
film
funny.
that. Oh, and by the way, before we get any further into this, what is your website?
Okay, our website is
You
kairosevents.com.
better spell Kairos.
Okay, Kairos is spelled Kairos. So it would be kairosevents.com. So KAIROSEVENTS.com.
And I'll have a link to that on the YouTube channel and on
Mm-hmm.
her custom
Right.
player. They'll go straight to her site. So if you miss all that, don't worry about it. You'll be able to get a
Right.
hold of her, which is really cool. We like to always throw that in, even though it'll be linked on there. We like you to tell us a little bit about it. There's some great videos on there. I've seen them. You'll like them. So that's cool. All right, so you're forming all these leagues. You're coming up with
Mm-hmm.
ideas for the games and the different fields, and you can do indoor and
Mm-hmm.
outdoor. You've already got people like the Austin Spurs, which is the NBA. For those of you going, what are the Austin Spurs? Well, that's the NBA franchise for the San Antonio Spurs. You've
Right.
got Round Rock Express here. They could
Mm-hmm.
probably do bubble races around the bases, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the dot game, but you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And race
Yeah.
around. So you've
Right.
got
So
the stars.
right, we have all kinds
Shoot
of
pucks at them.
opportunities.
Platoon.
We are so excited about all the possibilities.
It's unlimited.
The other thing about the bubbles is that they are actually there's actually a wellness component, and there is
Oh yeah, you were talking about that this morning at the network group
yes,
because
that
you're exercising.
you are, and you don't realize that these things are hyper aerobic. And when I say that, what I mean is um, about 5 minutes in a bubble, even if you are in extremely good shape,
Really,
you are getting an extreme aerobic workout.
because you're not focusing on you're running and you're bouncing
Hmm.
and you're having to get up and use a lot of body energy to control it.
Right.
So you're getting the whole workout.
Right. So it's not just running like you're running in soccer.
Oh no,
You're also falling and rolling and then having to get
that's
up.
what I'm saying. It's a
Right.
whole
It's a
body
whole
movement. Just
body
because you have the
workout.
ball around you doesn't mean your body's not exerting energy. So I guess
Right.
what you're telling me is you burn a lot of calories too.
You burn a lot. We had an individual with a Fitbit on, and this was a very fit
Oh, because so
individual.
this person put on the calorie burner to verify what it was doing.
Yes. And she was in her bubble for approximately 15 minutes and burned upwards of 500
Well,
calories.
that's almost being on the treadmill for 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So there's a whole fitness component here too, which means also when we have kids in the bubbles, we got to monitor them and make sure, which is why we'll play a soccer game
So
for
you'll have
maybe
half
5, 10
times in a
minutes.
couple minutes and let them
Right.
rest and drink water, get out, get in on whatever. So they're, it's like anything else. You
Hmm.
learn best ways to do it,
Right.
right? Because probably when they're in it and they're doing the game, I can imagine they're going full blast trying to get their friend or trying to kick the ball and they're not
Yeah.
down. So they're just naturally
Right.
not thinking about themselves.
Right. Now what's so fun to watch though is sometimes you'll see the people and adults and teens and children who are great soccer players.
Right.
It levels the playing field until they can get close to the ball. And then once they can get close enough to the ball to actually handle the ball, their skills come into play. But the trick is getting close enough
I
to
was going to
handle
say,
the
it
ball.
sounds like to me you be falling and rolling and trying to beat your friend, and you get knocked down, and
Yep.
just when you get there, the ball may just sit in the middle of the field for
It
30
does.
minutes before anybody touches it.
And
Because
sometimes
they're having so much fun knocking each other over, they forget
that's
about the
right.
game.
Sometimes I actually sit on the ball.
Oh,
The
that's
bubble.
even worse. That shouldn't be allowed.
It's a party foul.
Right. Okay, it is a party foul. So there's different fouls you probably call, right? Excessive stalking of one guy on the ball or something like that. All right, so
Okay.
we're talking about bubble sports, y'all, and if you want to know, and Susan Beal, their company here, has these. And one of the questions I was going to ask you, you beat me to it. It's up here tonight that you generated for us was, can they do rental?
Yes. And that is exactly what we do is we offer soccer rentals.
And how far will you travel?
So we will travel not only to Austin, but all of the cities and suburbs. So I listed a slew of them because I didn't.
Okay, so check the web. Is it on the website by chance, or is
Well,
it just a phone call?
it's just a phone call. I
Okay,
mean, we say Austin and surrounding areas. I,
that could
I,
be Houston in another week, so
well,
be
that's
careful. And
true.
Dallas.
That's true.
No, I'm kidding.
We haven't put a time limit on it.
Yeah.
I know with traffic, sometimes it depends on the time of day, but
You're like me. Austin surrounding area includes like maybe Williamson County, maybe out to Hutto, maybe down as far as maybe Buda or something like that.
yeah, Kyle,
But not Kyle, but not out say past Fredericksburg or
right.
Johnson City. That's getting San
Right,
Antonio.
we'll do Dripping Springs, we'll do
Oh, that's not
BK,
bad. I mean,
we'll
that's
do
got the yeah,
Westlake,
that's
we'll
cool.
do Taylor, Manor,
Yeah,
Georgetown, Leander,
yeah, that's
Hutto,
great.
yeah,
And so I guess you guys are being super creative right now, coming up with giving. Have you done a survey to ask people for ideas from the public and offer to let them have a free weekend or something from a survey if they answer all your questions? Have you come up with ways to
you know,
generate ideas?
that is awesome. We have taken ideas and people have had great ideas and
Right.
we're collecting them, but we have not done a formal survey like that.
Yeah, you could
And
do
I would
one.
love
You
to.
could
That's
we
a great
could do
idea.
one and then ask people to submit it and say if they do
Yeah,
that, their team or a couple of people could win a day
yeah.
or 15 minutes if you're over 50 to knock each other around. Then you go home and lay on the couch all day, right? But I'm
Well,
saying that would be cool
yeah,
because people probably would, and you could show them the video right first, and then say
yeah.
come up with some great ideas and be rewarded, and we'll name that game
Oh my gosh,
after you.
yes. I would love that. So
Wouldn't that be
yeah,
cool?
that
So
would be
name and
cool.
get their name on it. So this could be
Let's
we
do
don't we're not
it.
going to do the Hurdy game, but
No, no, well, your game was great though. We are going to call it a Hurdy game.
okay, that's great. Okay, the
Okay.
one where you spin around, I
Yes.
love that. Okay, and
Yes.
so the next thing I wanted to ask you was um, service charges. Imagine rental is by the hour, by the day, or half day, or whatever. But then you've got ongoing day camps that you might be working with.
Mhm.
Don't Is it by the hour or is it by the
Right.
year? Can they buy them from you and be done with it one time, or do you
I
have to
got you.
manage that?
Great question. So right now, all we do are rentals, and
Yep.
you can rent bubbles individually if you wanted to. If you're just having, a little tea party, just
Right.
two or three girls coming over, and you just want one or two bubbles, you can do it. It's $40 per bubble per
That's
hour,
no big deal.
right?
Yeah.
But if you're having a group party, the packages are a better deal for you when you're getting into larger numbers. So all of our packages start at 8 bubbles. And now here's the deal. We know that a traditional soccer game is a 10-person game,
Oh my goodness.
right?
Yes.
But not everybody wants 10 bubbles, because some companies or some people might want a smaller number of bubbles. So that's why our packages start at 8 bubbles, but you can add bubbles,
Yes, right. So it
right?
just depends on who wants to do it because,
Right.
like you said, the soccer field becomes kind of the secondary thing, and so does the darn soccer game. I can already tell you,
Right, right,
if somebody scores, it's great, but they're
right,
exhausted and they got knocked around.
right.
So is the
So
purpose of the game to really bounce off each other and really knock each other around?
yes,
That's what it's all about.
and that's all some people want to do. So
Yeah,
our
just
right,
rent bubbles and go somewhere and knock each other
yes,
around, and you draw a crowd and
and
everybody's
sometimes they don't
watching.
even put the ball in play, right? It's just
Right.
they're doing bubble bumps,
It's just fun. Yeah,
right?
that's fun.
But the 2 hour pack, we started a 2 hour package, which is with 8 bubbles is $260.
That's nothing.
And then a 3 hour package with 8 bubbles is $360. But you can add on bubbles
And this
and you
is
can add
on
on
your
hours.
website.
It's on the
So
website.
we're going to direct them there after this, so they can go to
Hmm.
all the pricing and everything.
It's all on the website.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
And do you guys consult on certain things? Would you go and be a part of the event and do some stuff around it since you have event experience
Oh
and
yeah.
have extra charges for being present on site and helping with some other things?
Yeah, so we don't charge actually extra for that. That's a part of what's included in the
Really?
price. Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
a part of what we do is we arrive with the bubbles, we blow them up. If we need to set up the nets and mark out
That's
the field,
awesome.
then if you want us to stay on site and help coordinate the games, we'll work with you. We'll coordinate them. Um, and then once the event's over, we take it all down, pack it up, and we go away.
I know how to get you on the map.
All
And
right.
we're going to put this out and then we're going to do it.
Okay.
I have a buddy that rents GoPros. We
GoPro.
we we need GoPros that have the camera you see where
Oh
it looks
yeah.
like they're skiing down the
Oh
hill.
my gosh.
We need to put a sweatband on one somebody in your organization and let them
Yes.
go out and get two balls and let them and put on their forehead inside the ball.
Oh
And then after it's done, we need to send it to GoPro.
yes,
And
fantastic.
because they love kind of unique, cool things people are doing
Uh-huh.
with it. So there's this guy named Zach. I'll introduce you to him. I think he can
Hmm.
rent you one for like an hour
Oh yeah,
and it's cheap.
I'll take it.
And then you can then they can pull the video off and send it to you.
I
It's so
love
worth it.
it.
So I'll get you in contact. But I was just
Hmm.
thinking, how cool would it be to show outside, have
Hmm.
somebody shooting the video from the outside, and
Yeah.
then have the GoPro on the inside and mix them up
Oh,
when you're editing it.
that would be so
That'd be
awesome.
really
I'd
cool.
love
All
that.
right, so we'll talk about that.
Okay.
All right, so we got how much it is for service. So I'm gonna let you take a break from it. This is Susan
Okay.
Veal with Kairos Bubble Sports, and that's their website. Their website is Kairos.
Kairos events, but we do have a Facebook page, which is
Okay,
Kairos Bubble
and
Sports.
we'll link that in there
Yeah.
too. So the cool thing is on your custom player,
Hmm.
you're going to have links to all your social networks on inside the player, so
Okay.
people
Awesome.
can scroll through and
Hmm.
like you and
Right.
everything there. So isn't it awesome?
Yes. And if someone does happen to key in Kairos Bubble Sports, it will redirect them to Kairos events to our webpage.
That's fine. Yeah,
So
because a lot of people do redirects
yeah.
today because you
Yeah.
had one set up originally. And you went, you know what? We need to change this to event. So
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
It's the what? Thank God you can link on the web, right?
That's right.
Anyhow, I want to thank my sponsor, CPR Cell Phone Repair in Round Rock. Did you know that if you look up CPR cell phone cell phone repair in Round Rock, it is going to be one of those nights. Cell CPR cell phone repair Round Rock on Facebook. They offer a special on phones that they get in, refurbish, and resell. So you can get maybe a nice phone for half of what you could get if you went and
Oh,
bought
that's
it. At,
nice.
but a lot of these phones have come down because of the plans, right?
Hmm.
But they have some good refurbished phones where somebody just needs an extra one or something. So you need to check that out.
That's nice.
They also open at 10 in the morning, stay open to 7 at night. And a lot of people have asked that to me, even though it's on their website, right? Because a lot of people get off work and they
Hmm.
are on weekends too, Saturdays till 5. Uh,
That's really
and so
helpful.
it's nice to know if you crack your screen or something, they're not closed till Monday, so you can go see them 6 days a week. They're
Hmm.
closed on Sundays, right? But I've even seen them there sometimes Sundays, but that's not their
Hmm.
office hours. So they are awesome. Jeff Babcock and his wife are the owners. It is part of a very successful franchise that has over 200 stores now nationwide. And so that's always a healthy indication that that business, the gadget business, is doing well. So go
Hmm.
check out CPR Cell Phone Repair, cellphonerepair.com. Thanks, guys. All right, so we're back. We're talking about bubble sports. I think we've had a pretty good time tonight. I think it's almost going to be scary to go back and listen to this. But we're going to insert a video inside this uh, audio, which is going to be very unique because I haven't done that before. Which means I'm going to download this from YouTube, Susan.
Hmm.
I'm going to go into my editing and I'm going to pull the video you sent me today,
Hmm.
and I'm going to insert it in between the audio.
Okay.
Right,
Hmm.
so I'll picture, and then all of a sudden it'll break to a video, and
Hmm.
I'll insert that, and then we'll come right back on the show. So it'll be inside the player. So
Okay.
tomorrow or the next day, if
Okay,
you'll
that's
give
fine.
me, it'll be on YouTube, the actual audio
Okay.
that I won't do anything with. So we'll have, it'll be up there. But anyhow, okay. So what time do you arrive? So let's say somebody says, hey, I want to do a couple bubbles, 5 or 6 bubbles. We're going to have some friends knock each other around. We're going to have soccer ball. We're going to play
Hmm.
some games. And so y'all schedule this event out. They pick a time, and then when do y'all arrive?
So we will get there about 30, 40 minutes ahead
And
of
that's
time.
all it takes,
That's
really,
all it takes.
because all you have to do is fit them on the balls and set up
Hmm.
the mark off the little soccer field or whatever.
Right.
And if it's not that even, and they just want them to
Hmm.
goof around in, it's even simpler than that,
Yeah, if we
right?
don't, if we don't need to set up the mark off the field and set up the goals, then it's really just probably 15, 20 minutes. Enough time for us to pull the bubbles out and inflate them.
Now, have you ever had anybody play this? Not when it's lightning or thunder. Have you ever
Hmm.
anybody play this like in the mud?
We have played it after it has
Is
rained,
it fun?
and it is fun. It's a
Sloppy,
little
muddy.
slippy,
Is that?
slippy. It's a little slippy.
It's a little slippy. See,
Yeah.
you got used to doing it. I love this. My dyslexia has just gone right over to you.
It's great though. It's
Okay,
great.
cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm gonna put
Um,
Yeah, we're good. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so the one thing I did want to kind of go back maybe just for a
Okay.
visual
No, this is your show, so go back.
for the people who have obviously may not see the video or haven't seen a soccer bubble. So just to describe what it looks like, it is a huge inflatable bubble. If you can think of like the Michelin Man,
Yeah,
right?
times 10.
No, times 10, right? But with a hole in the middle of the bubble.
Right.
And in the middle of the bubble, you're going to actually insert yourself into the middle, but it's open on the top and the bottom.
So you get breathe. Yeah, you
can
got to
breathe.
have air. Right.
Right. So it's almost like a donut hole.
Right.
It's completely open in the middle.
Right.
Except that it has two shoulder straps and two handles.
Right.
And the goal there is that you insert yourself so that the shoulder straps obviously are over your shoulders,
Right.
because that's what holds the bubble on your body and keeps the bubble above your head.
Yeah, I was going to say your head doesn't come out. People need to know that your head's particularly if you get knocked around, you'll just roll.
Right, because the bubble is above your head.
Right.
And
So,
that's what protects
but you need air. You can't get inside something that doesn't have breathe holes, and I get that. So that's the design of it. It's a donut tube. You stick through it. You put your arms in the bubble. You hold on to deal, but it goes up another 12 foot or foot or so, and it's just open. So it's just a big round bubble. When they see the video, I promise you, the people who've seen them on YouTube already or whatever, they'll get it.
Right.
And that's why I'm saying we're going to insert a video in this, because once you see how it works, you're going to go, oh my, I got to do that.
Right.
And
that is usually what happens, is that once you see it, once you actually see it online, or even more so when you actually physically see an inflated bubble, the excitement just naturally grows.
Oh, I can imagine.
Almost addictive. It's like, I got to get in one of those things.
I can imagine. All right. So that's awesome. Man, we're doing good tonight on our questions here. This is awesome. So, all right. So here's something that happens to everybody.
Yes.
They call, they set up a time, and show. Or they're late. What happens?
Okay. So that's it. And we don't show. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that, or don't show up. What happens if you are late or don't show up? Oh, emergency. Then something happened.
Or freeway got shut down.
Right. And you left in plenty of time, but you can't stop the acts of God and stuff like that. Right. Okay.
So it's it is our goal and our intent that everyone has a great interaction experience with us. But there are those times, unfortunately, that are beyond our control, where we may be late to an event. And we hope it never happens that we miss your event completely.
Because you gotta let people know that we're going to leave them plenty of time, but we'll keep up, monitor traffic. We'll have a good idea what's going on, but there's something that can happen that makes that happen.
So we will stay in contact with you,
and you make that good,
and let you know, and then we'll do what we need to do to make it good for you.
Yeah.
Obviously we can't.
But then when you start having fun, you'll forget all about it.
That's right.
Because most people are very forgiving, especially if you call them and say we're almost there.
Right.
Oh my God.
Right.
All right. So what is can people partner with you? Is that what you mean by what is my responsibility? Your question is what is my responsibility? Is that talking about the person that's wearing the bubble, or is that talking about you?
That's talking about the person who's renting from us.
Okay, so what is their responsibility?
So we do want to partner with our customers.
Okay.
Because we want to build a relationship, and in that, when someone says, "Hey, I want to book a party. I want to, we're having a party. We're having an event. My department at work, we're doing a team builder." And so I said, "Great. So we'll talk about, well, how many people, how much time are you looking at? Are you looking at are we doing just bubbles, or are we just one part of what you're doing? And just get a sense. Do you have a location?
Right.
If you don't have a location in mind, I can help you, and we can help you talk and kind of brainstorm about ideas. Or if you need us to go a little more in depth and actually find a location for you, then we can talk about that. But your responsibility would be to work with us to make sure that we're bringing out the right size bubbles. Because
I get that.
Right.
Okay.
Because you better know. You'll know better who the participants are most likely to be. Are you going to probably have anybody between 6 and 7 feet tall? And if so, then we need to make sure that we're bringing out some of those size bubbles to accommodate people between
Right. So
6
they
and
need to
7
get
too.
their responsibility is to kind of give you a feel for who's going to be involved,
Hmm.
age, height, weight, all
Right.
that stuff that goes along. So you guys can bring the different samples and guess and come pretty close to it,
Right. So
right?
we're
I mean,
bringing
that's
right. You
normal.
rent 8 bubbles. 3 of them maybe, 2 of them maybe need to be the largest size bubble because you're going to have some people there between 6 and 7 feet tall. Then maybe the rest all need to be those that go up to 6 feet tall because you're not going to have anybody that's below 4 feet eight
Yeah,
inches,
right, because
right?
that's the rule, right?
Right. Um, then the other thing would be for you to help us secure the waivers, and we'll work with you. Do you want to get those ahead
Do
of
you
time?
print those and give them to that are already printed out so they can sign it and give them to you? Yeah,
Right,
because they're
and we'll do that. How do you want to do that? Do you want to do it ahead of time, or we'll bring them with us if you just want to have people? How
and
do
then
you?
have the ones that are going to be participate sign it at that time.
Right. So we'll work with you,
That's the same thing I do when I'm
but
out videoing. Here's the
right,
release form.
exactly. So, but we still need you to partner with us on that,
Yep,
and how
I
you want to
see
do
what
that.
you mean by that. So the partnership is the responsibility is client needs to give you all the information, location, the people
Hmm.
involved, the waiver forms, all that gets done before because you need to set up all
Hmm.
this stuff. Okay, cool.
Right.
All right, so your website again is
www.kairosevents.com.
right, and
And
we're going to link that on the website. We're going to link it. That's okay. And our phones are ringing here during the real show, which is great. Mine does it too.
yeah.
We call this Susan Kitchen Table Talk because we really just want to provide information and make it unlike traditional
Yeah.
radio. It may sound somewhat like that. I'm not going to give myself that much credit.
Mhm.
I'm not that good, but it is fun to interview people and what we call podcasting in
Mhm.
today's online market, right? And put something out there that people enjoy,
Oh, this
so
is
somewhat
great.
of entertaining and all that. So they
Mhm.
get a hold of it on your website. They can go see videos right there on the front page. You can go
Mhm.
in and look at their pricing, their services. Now I have a couple questions that are
Sure.
not on this sheet. The
Okay.
one is, let's say that one of the day camps because you had asked for referrals to different day camps
Mhm.
or organizations, right, that have
Right.
kids that are ongoing summer program.
Mhm.
What happens if some day camps decides that they want to do them every day and it's
Yeah.
an insurmountable amount of money every day? Do you have like a long-term package for their summer camp that lasts 2 weeks or?
Yeah. I'll work with them.
Okay,
So
so just
yes.
call you. You'll sit down and customize something with them
Yes.
depending on their needs. So
Absolutely.
that's the beauty of this is you're flexible to go in and say, hey, put these rates aside
Yeah.
because you're looking for long-term strategy with them.
Yes.
Even maybe next year you can come up with some plan.
Absolutely. We
Your
are
event experience comes in there, doesn't it?
yes, and we want to partner with the community. We were so excited. We were out at the Round Rock ISD Celebration of Families
Really
Saturday
cool.
before last, and it was great to meet with the kids and the families and the faculty. But we got a chance to meet with like the Round Rock Police Department,
Oh, that's awesome.
and
What'd they think?
oh, they loved it, and we love meeting with them, and we're going to partner with them on some of their community events.
That's awesome. Boy,
You
what
know,
see, this is what I'm talking about. This thing's going to end up being and because you guys are like here in the market, kind of
mm-hmm,
ahead of the curve, you've learned that how to do. It's going to give you a big advantage to hit all these
hmm.
organizations very quickly.
Yeah, but that's our heart too. Is we want to
Yeah,
serve,
fun.
and what a great
What a great way to
opportunity.
serve. You get to see people knocking the crap out of each other,
Yeah, but they have fun, and
and they have fun.
it's a safer way to do
It
it.
is because at 60, I
Hmm.
could not go out and play flag football and get hit and get up.
Right,
They go call that
right. But
911
in a
number.
bubble,
In a bubble, I can.
in a bubble, all you might need to do is call your chiropractor.
I have one.
See, there you go.
Right, and 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 because you are bouncing around. I get that. You
Right,
know what I'm
right.
saying? But at least you survive, and it's fun. And you can only last 10 minutes, and then you're done
You're done.
anyhow. Right?
Exactly.
You just get out and go, oh
Right.
God, that's just too funny.
I love it. I love being in the bubbles, but I also love watching
Well,
other
and
people.
let me kind of review and recap a little bit some of this with you, and that is
Mhm.
because you guys were event company before, you
Mhm.
understand how events work, so you've got that under your belt.
Mhm.
Logistically, you learn from doing events.
Right.
Wow, that we're not doing that again.
Right.
I know that I used to do that up in Dallas, so I
Mhm.
get that. And then now you've got this cool product that you can do that.
Mhm.
Um, Have you identified every single target market yet? Are you just discovering those? See, I think that's where that
Mhm.
survey coming in would be open to naming games after winners and giving
Yes.
them an hour or so and one just to
Right.
have fun. That'd be really cool. GoPro,
I
we'll work on all this.
absolutely, and there are other ideas that we have, that I think there are so many opportunities. Um, we've got an idea for just pickup games, where just on any given day, we'll let you know where we're going to be, and you want to play, just come on out, and
Yeah, see
it'll be,
that's great because
like
you could do
pay to
that. You could do
play.
that socially.
Exactly. Pay to play on
You could
Saturday.
have
We're going to be over
you could
here.
have a
Come on
mob.
out.
You could have one of those flash mobs with
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
show up and get a ball and up to 10 people can knock each other around
Wouldn't that
and
be
post it
fabulous?
on Facebook
And
and
we'll
bring
wait.
your cameras and submit your video and we'll pick the best one and the winner gets like a pocket camera from Canon or something.
Wouldn't that be
Come
love?
up with a contest.
Yes. Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be great. Take a video. You bring the GoPro. You
Yes.
submit your video. We'll pick the best one. So you can do that right there. Have
Yeah.
a flash mob
Right.
at a mall.
Right.
Just show up in your bubbles
That's right. So you
and
had.
dance to
That's
one of the
right.
songs.
I love it.
That's the creative side of me.
But I love it, and we're right there with you, and that's why we're so wide open to these
Right.
ideas because I think there's so many things we haven't thought of, and we are so open to the creative piece of this because I don't think these two guys who created this event, who were thinking just bubble soccer, it's kind of like the internet. I don't think they had any
It
clue
just
about all the unintended.
it blows up outside their what they wanted it for.
Right.
But the idea is still great.
It is, and I'm so glad they thought of it.
Helmets. This is kind of like a huge extension of protection equipment, but
Exactly.
and it's for fun, because
Right.
it's so different feeling, right? You
Right.
can't control yourself in it all the time,
Right.
so
Exactly.
that's just too cool. So what did I miss?
Um, gosh, I
Because you
don't
believe we've been on 45 minutes already?
know.
Yeah.
Wow. No, it's been fun. This has
It
been
goes
great.
really fast, and we've addressed a lot of questions. So what I'm going to recommend people do is go to your website. We're going to link
Mhm.
that. Then we're going to give you a custom player, and we're going to also those videos are there on her website, which is the go ahead and say it
Kairos event.
right, Kairos events, and you may get redirected right when you type that in.
You'll get redirected if you type in Kairos Bubble Sport.
Okay, yeah, because if you do a search on Google, it's going to come up. You click it, it'll redirect you to the site. That's cool. But and we're going to link that all over it. But there's videos there, so if you want to
Mhm.
see exactly what we're talking about, one of them is just funny as the dickens,
And don't
and
get
it's very
good
good. Don't get fixated on
on how hard they're hitting, and like there's one in that's inside a gym, right?
right,
And that is from overseas,
right.
and that is like from these guys that have been playing it for a long
Right, they
time.
get it. So you
Right.
understand there's that you get good at this, and we're
Right.
going to shoot some down the road
Mhm.
anyhow. And
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
telling you, from inside around,
Yes.
you don't need many for that, but
Right.
it'll work. But yeah, just
Yeah.
understand you're just getting the concept of what it looks like,
Mhm. Yes.
and seeing the little legs sticking at the bottom. It reminds me of the
Yeah.
M&M guy, not
Yes.
painted. It really
Now,
does.
what you don't see in these videos
Right.
is that some people do get stuck upside down, and it is hilarious.
When they're standing on the top where
Well,
it flattens out on the top of the
but
bubble, maybe where the head is,
well, yeah, right. So they're upside down because
and their feet are sticking
their
out.
feet are sticking up in the air because they don't have enough body weight. They kind of
They're
rolled.
they're they're okay. So they're not big. They can't start doing this
Right,
and get down. They're
right.
just
And
tiny enough
so
where they
right.
can't. And
So we
so,
have to kind of push them over
oh,
to get
that's
them
just
started
funny.
again. So we have all kinds of fun.
Stick. Take a picture.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Well, you're going to live a long time. What a business to be in.
Hey, I
It's
went.
so stressful. I get
Yeah,
up and we play bubble ball.
that's right. That's why my tagline is I went from finance to fun. That
Yeah, really. And you don't get it till you ask you
that's
that next question. What are you
exactly
talking about?
exactly.
How do you go from finance to fun? Well, anything's fun in finance. I mean, at least now you can't tell accountants that,
Right. Well, I
but
mean, I'm still a CPA
I know.
by
So you
trade,
love
right?
that.
But I'm like, right. But I don't do taxes and I don't do finances
Right,
anymore,
right. It's
except
bubble
my
sport.
own.
Okay,
Right.
so this is family business, right? You
Yes.
probably have. Does your husband do something else?
He does.
But he also participates in this. Do you have children that participate in it?
I do.
That's
So,
cool.
well, here is kind of here's the history on that, right? And I am so blessed, so amazingly blessed. Is in a whole different kind of world. About 15 years ago, here's the other sideline, right?
That's just so funny.
About 15 years ago, 14 years ago,
Right.
I actually had a ministry. And in that ministry, it was a singles ministry. I had a large group of people that were involved in that ministry. Now we're all married. We all did stuff. We're all
Yep.
kind of gone around, but we're still
Still stay in touch.
stay connected,
That's
right?
good.
So now these same people have come on board and are now helping me in this business.
I love it.
And they are so all in that when this business takes off, they're like, okay, when this takes off, we're really all in.
And so then they're going to help partner up with you, and you
Yes,
guys are going to work that out so that
exactly.
they're involved in it and they can start there. So that little team of people sticking together through this ministry's turned out to be a good little blessing in the
Yes.
end, hasn't it?
Yeah,
That's
so
pretty
it
cool.
is family and our extended family
So
basically.
it's not, I guess you could say God works in bubbly ways.
I love that. That's exactly right.
I couldn't help it.
I'm happy.
I couldn't help it. Stop it, Hurdy. Stop it.
Oh, it's joy.
That's,
Such joy.
I mean, that's just,
Yeah.
shouldn't have said that.
I love it.
God provided the bubbles
Yes.
and we make it fun,
That's
right?
right.
So
There
that's
you
cool.
go. There you go.
All right, so we are winding down. They've got your website. It's gonna take a
Mhm.
day or two to get the archive up because we're gonna try that insert with the video. Well, I know
Right.
that's gonna work. It's just I got to edit it and
Right.
do it. But this is
Um,
This is on YouTube. Yeah, go ahead.
I think there's. Oh, sorry. There is one thing that I think I probably didn't.
Okay, yes, definitely. We got plenty of time.
Okay, that I probably didn't spend. I really didn't stress and spend. I think enough focus on. So because we've laughed and joked a lot.
Yep.
But I do want to really make sure that I stress how important safety is to us, and what we really have done, what we really do around safety, um, because the focus on safety started way back when we really did even begin researching the types of plastic that we would use.
Absolutely. It makes
Um,
total sense.
because in the industry right now, when we were looking and realized that
Hmm.
nobody in the United States makes these bubbles, so you have to buy these bubbles overseas. And so then we started researching the plastic. So, well, what type of plastic do they use?
Right.
And it was either PVC or TPU plastic. Well, as we researched the plastic, and I even had the opportunity to talk to some PVC engineers, and found out that PVC plastic is a plastic that gives off a lot of chemicals, and especially in the heat of
Makes
Texas.
total sense.
And that was not a plastic that I wanted to be in,
Nope.
or I wanted anybody, one of my kids to be in, or grandkids, or
That makes total sense.
So, and then it also gets cloudy. So from a safety perspective, over
Like those
time,
fog lights on the cars you see, it does the same thing.
right? And so, how from a safety perspective, I don't want you in a bubble where you can't. It's hard for you to see where you're going, and
Yeah.
so we went with TPU plastic, which is more expensive and it's a higher end plastic, but it has much fewer chemicals. The clear, you can see it's much more transparent. It
Right.
doesn't,
It doesn't cloud up.
right, and it's a more durable plastic.
Right.
So so our decision on what to use even in the manufacturing was based upon safety and environmental. What was better for us as in terms of being in the bubbles. And then when it comes to the events, whenever we have a new group of people at the beginning of an event, but even when there's a swap out before we start a new game, especially
Hmm.
at the community events, we give everybody, it's like, okay, here's the deal. Make sure your shoulder straps stay on your shoulders because that's what holds the bubble above your head. If it comes off or if your strap comes undone, step away from the game immediately.
Just stop. Yeah.
You know,
So you go through rules
we
for
go
their
through,
responsibility.
right.
Okay.
And then we also, from a cleaning perspective, we always have cleaner with us so that if somebody wants to clean the bubble before they get in it, they can do that.
Yeah. So that's normal. I can understand people
Right?
wanting that.
But
Right.
but we were very selective about the kind of cleaner we use.
That's good too.
You know,
Organic, hopefully.
well, it is not organic, but it
Right.
is the same same. It's the same product that a lot of hospitals use. That's hydrogen peroxide based. So if
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
right, so
baking soda, hydrogen
you could
peroxide base.
almost drink it.
That's right.
But
Yep.
it's an antiseptic. I mean, an antibacterial and a
Right.
disinfectant.
Got it.
Um,
That's awesome.
so we take the whole safety component very seriously, because we want them to be safe. We want to be safe, and we don't mess around there. So I just wanted to.
So that's all good. Nobody's making these in the United States.
No, exactly.
Bing.
Yeah.
Y'all need to get on Shark Tank.
Yeah. Mark Cuban, he's probably not real happy right now, though.
No, did they lose last night? No, they won. But they got a long ways to
They got a
go.
long
Yeah,
ways to
Houston's
go.
going to.
Yeah.
You're from Houston, so, and I'm from Dallas. So, you know what? You all got it.
That's right. That's
Not going to win 4 in a row. All right. So, this was a great introduction to this. I'm pleased. Like I said, I was really kind of excited about this show tonight because I knew it'd be fun because I already knew sitting next to you at network group meetings that you're pretty fun, and I knew you had a good personality. So that just reiterated to me that what you guys are going in the right direction. I'll be happy to refer this out. I mean, I'll share those videos to my social footprint. We'll get the show out there and make sure it gets in front of the right people. And what is the perfect, if people are listening in, and they will be listening on YouTube later and on the archive as we get it out, what is your perfect referral right now? What are you really focusing on that you really want to go after right now?
Right now, I would say that it is two things. It would be a community event, or a corporate team building event.
Great.
Those would be my two perfect referrals right now.
And we have some of the best corporations here: Facebook, Apple, Motorola. It used to be part of Google. You've got eBay here. You've got AM. You've got all these companies here.
And Whole
Samsung.
Foods and all these.
I mean, that's just
great.
AT&T.
Yes.
Sprint.
Yeah, I know. Great companies.
Right.
Yeah.
You should have cell phone. Never mind. All right. Guys, you have been listening to the Hurdy Burke Internet Broadcast Network. My guest tonight, Susan Veal, was talking to us about the amazing bubble sports, which was started by 2 crazy Norwegian guys. That's what she said. That's what the article said. They have brought it over here. They're the only ones in Austin that do this. They've got it down to a science because they understand how it works. They've researched it and they're going already. For more information, we're going to ask you to go visit their website, right, Susan? It's going to be posted. Don't worry about it. We'll post it on there. I am going to make sure I write it down and get the right one. It's on your brochure, I think. Okay, and then we'll incorporate a video in this, which is kind of cool, and get the archive out to you guys. But we want to thank our sponsor, CPR Cell Phone Repair. Are there any final thoughts? First of all, did you have a good time?
I had a great time. Thank you.
Did I make it easy for you?
Yes, you did.
Did I make it too stupid and crazy?
No, this is my kind of crazy.
Okay, good. Good.
Love it.
If I said anything offended anybody,
no.
Get over it.
No,
I'm just kidding.
No, but there is one thing that if I've had my
no, please.
We're not. There's another company in Austin.
Okay, that's fine.
So and that's great.
But they're not on my show tonight.
You
are.
And I thank you for
that.
And I'm
sure we'll see more of this because everybody jumps on stuff, but. I am talking to people who've got experience with events, like we said, and you coordinate that with, they've done their research and they know what they're doing and how they got things made. So
thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So you guys come back and join us next Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. live every Tuesday night. It is broadcast live on YouTube. Starting next week on Thursday nights, I start a new show called A New Way to Think. It's going to be for personal growth, business growth, and leadership. I'm going to be interviewing the top coaches in the Austin area every Thursday night. So we'll have the Tuesday night for local Austin business, and the Thursday night show will be some of our high-powered coaches telling us and great stories of survival and leadership and personal growth. So we're going to really have some fun with that. And that's also a Facebook group page, and I look forward to starting that next week. So thanks for listening to the Hurdy Burke Internet Broadcast Network. Susan and Nexus. I talked to Newson tonight, and we're from Round Rock, Nexus. This is just nuts.
So,
So, Newsom, we've
yes.
had a good time in Nexus tonight.
Thank you, Nerdy. I've had a great time.
She's had a great time. We'll see you guys around the corner next week on the Hurdy Burke Internet Broadcast Network. Good night,
Bye.
everybody.